Welcome to Linda's TV show. If it is your first time of stopping by or coming across my YouTube channel, you are highly welcome. Please, I beg you for this favor, click on that red button that says subscribe. Beside the red button is a notification bell. Turn the bell on so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be the first person to check it out. I appreciate each and every one of you who always tune back to watch my videos. Like you know, I present news on daily basis to you. So after watching the video, you are free to criticize and leave your comment constructively. Share the video. Yeah, you can share it to your family, friends, anybody that you can, so that they themselves will be informed. Now I present to you another interesting or informative video which we are going to watch together. Yeah, I'm going to watch this video together with you. Then we'll come to the comment section to talk about it.
We have challenges with our economy. We have challenges with the political system, even the legal system, the justice system. Now, looking ahead to 2023, let me start with you, Dr. Ibrahim. Looking ahead to 2023, how can we resolve this issue by picking leaders that will have Nigeria at heart?
Thank you very much. The criteria for electing leaders should be carefully looked into, and we reprioritize the basics of requirements. Most of the time we hinge on qualifications, experience, exposure, network, and other attributes that defines a leader. But we often forget the pillars, which are the moral ethics, which an individual should possess, that should be the enshrining embodiment of what a leader should be. And these are: 1, the fear of God; 2, the person's ability to, as a person, take a decision or decide to do the right thing without being influenced or pushed to do so. Secondly, or thirdly, decisions devoid of emotion, sentiment, and selfish interest. This should be the cardinal pillars. Then those attributes, which are experience, qualifications, and other things, should be catalysts that will sharpen the person's ability to make sound and informed decisions. So if Nigerians look at individuals and try to identify them on the basis of these enshrining values, ethics, and ideologies, they will be able to elect leaders that are fit to deliver value in the system.
Okay. Mazi, I have to take you back to the First and Second Republic. We had leaders then that people would say, yes, these are true leaders. Leaders who took themselves to the people directly. They were not dealing with the caucus like we have it today in most political parties. So how do we get these leaders? Because what we have now is deficit in getting able leaders to fill in the gap.
Thank you very much. I agree with my friend, some of the issues he raised, especially in the time of the issue of talking about the character of people. I think that if you go back and look at the leaders of the First Republic, there were certain characteristics they possessed. First of all, they were visionary. They had a vision. They wanted to take Nigeria out of colonial bondage. They wanted to enforce a newly united country that was going to be the pride of Africa, that was going to be the face of the black man. That was their vision. And being visionary creates a momentum to pursue that objective. Secondly, you looked at competence. Were they competent? And competence is driven by the ability to start a thing and complete it, get an idea and bring it to fruition. And when you look at them, you see that they all had some pedigree of performance, things they have done, things they've accomplished, most of them related to improving the life of their people. Was it in the Western region? Was it in the eastern region? Was it in the north? The leaders were people who had, you could say this is what they have done. Some in their private capacities, some at lower rungs of the political system. Thirdly, was that many of them had character. They had character. They were believable. A couple of them were people of integrity. They could swear to their hearts. If they said a thing, they tried to live up to it, even within the context of the limitations of humanity. And fourthly, I also think you could see a lot of courage. They had the courage to take the decisions that they did take. Some of them tough decisions. So if you find a group of people who are visionary, who are competent, who have good character integrity based on ethics, and also they have courage, then they understand that the purpose of politics and leadership is sacrifice. It's not for self. It is to improve the well-being of the people you have elected to lead. It's not about you, it's about them. And therefore, every decision should be taken. That's why you didn't see many of them have the kind of mansions, the kind of assets, the kind of money that current leaders in our political scene seem to have, because the focus is now more on the politicians, not on the citizens. So I think we need to go back and see what made us succeed. It wasn't perfect because we're still in the process of building a nation. We came from a country of diversified ethnic nationalities, vision, win independence. The next was to build a nation. They were in the process of building the nation before things went out of control. And since then, we've been in a spiral going down the hill.
Yes, Dr. Ibrahim, I want to ask you a personal question, because I know that you have your eyeballs fixed on the 2023 presidential race. And if that is the case, we are looking at a man. Do you think you have these qualities that you mentioned, that the leader needs to have these qualities to make Nigeria work again?
It is a question that will be more appropriately answered by Nigerians. As an individual, I believe in myself, and I live according to a set of principles, values, and governed by a philosophy I believe in, which enshrines all that I've mentioned earlier. But the people will decide if what I say is true to what they see. So it's, to answer your question, yes, but Nigerians will be the better judge.
So what do you think is responsible for what we are going through now? Why is it that we don't have the crop of leadership that we used to have in the days of, just like I said, in the days where we had men that can come out and talk? Why is it that we don't have them now?
Well, we've analyzed the basics of what a leader should possess. Most of what we have now, or the cause of most of our problems, is one, loss of patriotism, lack of selflessness, and either complete or part deviation from the path of honesty. People look at public service more of a profiteering venture rather than a public service where you offer selfless service. You know, Nigeria is one of the countries where people identify themselves as, what do you do? He said, I'm a politician. But there is what a balance in another area where they said you need to have a second address to be in politics, meaning you don't come into politics to take it as a job. You come into politics after distinguishing yourself in a certain area, and then you are coming to serve, meaning you are coming to give. You are not coming to take. So I think the orientation of our people, and the electorate are largely to blame, because when people stand before you to tell you what they want to do or why they are aspiring, they should be able to advance a positive and convincing narrative. And you should be able, as a people, to profile these people from where they are coming from, in terms of, you know, the first place to judge a leader is his family. What is the person's relationship with his family? How does he treat his family? How does he treat his neighbors? How does he treat his friends? How does he treat his staffs in the office? And his general relationship with people. That brings out the character in that person to qualify for those ethics and values we've enumerated. Then you now go into his service. How did the person discharge his or her service within the sectors, whether private or public? What level of integrity has the person, you know, showcased? What level of honesty and transparency has the person displayed? Now, all this should come to bear. So the electorates need to rethink their objectives in terms of looking at who to elect. Okay. Our politics have been so much monetized, and that has created a problem as to one of the basic reasons that confuses the electorates from who to elect and who not to elect, or who to vote or who not to vote for. So anybody can present themselves, but it is left for the people to decide, looking at those checklists, to see who and who among those that are presenting themselves actually, based on what I've enumerated, qualify those checklists to merit their votes.
Okay. All right, Mercy, if you take a look at what's going on in Nigeria today, you notice some kind of commotion. Before election, we go through this challenge. After election, another commotion. And people that are already aspiring to say this is what we want to do to change things in Nigeria are looking at this gameplay. So what do you think should be done, and what is wrong, especially with the political party system?
Well, I think that our political process of electing leaders is fraught with so much mishap. Because the truth of the matter is that many people who parade or who aspire to leadership do not quite understand that leadership is sacrifice. That the moment you want to serve the public, you've stepped out from your private comfort, and your life is dedicated to serving the people. Now, when you have a situation where the matter is reversed, that people want to use the facilities of the people to serve themselves, then it becomes a dogfight. It becomes a tough war. And so they begin to create obstacles and create barricades so that other people will have difficulties coming in. And that's why they begin to manipulate the system from the ward level to the state level to state primaries, then they go to national primary. It is part of their game plan to capture power and capture the resources of the country. This is what we've seen.
So what is the solution?
The solution is, like my friend is saying here, we need to get the citizens, the electorate, to wake up and understand that this trick must end, that this slavery must come to an end. Because right now, wealth is being amassed. Public funds are being put together, captured, to be able to sustain and perpetuate what we had. Now, if the perpetuation led to better governance, better quality of life, but when the perpetuation is only leading to worse human index, development index in Nigeria, leading to greater poverty, it's already 71%, leading to higher unemployment, in the youth population, sorry, 53%, in general population, 3%. That is the danger. So what can happen? It's the electorate to wake up. And secondly, to find some place in the heart of the politicians themselves to create an opportunity to open the space so that the electorate can play a much more effectual role in choosing their leaders. Because if the electorate chose their leaders, they wouldn't be exactly this way. Because there's going to be a connect, empathy, a contract between the people and the led. But you know, without me saying it, our electoral process has been queried by everybody. We are never sure of anything. We're not even sure of the number of the population of our country. We're not sure of who voted and who didn't vote. And the courts have to determine on technical terms who is the leader of the country, who is the leader of the state. That is not the way it has to be done. So we are calling for a complete change of attitude, first by our people and secondly by our politicians. And I must admit here that the effort by the National Assembly to get a new bill for me was an act of contrivance. These guys have known that many of them have marched in the system that deceived the people, that the results that brought people to elections may not have been the true results. I could see some repentance, and they say, now let's take the power back to the people. Let the people make their choice. From primary, as is done in the presidential system we have emulated from America, primary elections are done direct from each state to state before they come to national. Let the people choose, and eventually we come to where there will be national election. But those who want to perpetuate the status quo are opposing it and making sure that power is given back to the clique so that they can choose among themselves who will maintain and perpetuate the situation in our country. I think it's for the people of our country to say this is not something they want and find a way to force their views. When I say force, not violently, but make sure that their views are what happens. Even if it means when they want to vote, they make sure that that which they want is what happens. Because if we don't do like that, our country is on the brink. Our country is suffering from constant descent, economic descent, poverty, insecurity, and we need some rescue. And that rescue can only come from people who understand that they're willing to make the sacrifice and willing to pay the price if the need be to make sure that our country, which ought to be a global leader, which ought to be a first world, instead of being a perpetual third world stagnated in economic doldrums, poverty and misery, will change to become a country that is prosperous, a country where justice and security reigns. It requires the people taking their fate in their hands.
Now, let me part with this question, Dr. Ibrahim. You are from the education sector. What do you think the new leader should do to revamp our education sector in Nigeria?
The educational sector plays a vital role in the development of every nation. What we have failed to establish in the developing economies are massively funding research and quality teacher training. In between, you have standard facility. These three should be given priority, because when you have quality teacher training processes that gives out, that produces teachers that merits the profession, and they produce very good output in terms of the students, the quality of the students, then you fund research properly. One of the key factors of development is funding research, and you cannot adequately fund research unless you have quality educational process that will give you a viable output in terms of the faculties. So if that is done, it will change the perspective of our educational processes and bring back the values that we have lost.
Yes, Mazi, I know you served as a president of the Nigeria Economic Summit. and revamping our economy, what is the best option for us, for the new leader that will come?
Thank you for that question, because Nigeria has 4 demons they have to exercise in 2023. First is poverty, second is corruption, third is injustice, fourth is insecurity. And they are related. The high level of poverty promotes corruption and also even affects insecurity. For me, the focus is on poverty, and which is the economy. Because if you deal with the economy, then you will deal largely with most of the other problems. And what we need to do, essentially, is to understand how an economy grows, how economy develops. It's not magic. The way it happens is you should make your country attractive as an investment hub. Promote local investment, attract foreign investments. These investments will come into the country, and the investments will create businesses, create programs, create projects. Programs, projects, businesses will create jobs. Jobs will create wealth, and wealth will drive away poverty. It's a straight line relationship. So my focus, if I have the opportunity to govern this country, is to focus on making our country an investment heaven.
Okay.
The moment we do that, and investments are going, and government understands that its responsibility is not to give people 5,000 naira. Its responsibility is to promote the growth of the private sector. If they see somebody about to start a business, government should go and help them.
All right.
If they see somebody that wants to grow his investment, government should go and make life easy for investors. The moment you make life easy for investors and businesses, there will be economic growth. And the moment the economic growth, it will affect other sectors. Because if you have resources, healthcare requires funding. Education, my friend spoke about, requires funding. But if there's no economy that generates GDP, generates the cash, we'll be borrowing.
All right, Mazi, I want to say thank you. Yes, we've been speaking with 2 presidential hopefuls. I have here Dr. Ibrahim Bello Dauda. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I do hope we'll have you on the program again, so we can talk very much with enough time. And Mazi Sam Ohabua, thank you too. I appreciate your coming on the show.
My wonderful people, thank you so much for watching this video together with me. I appreciate your massive support in this channel. Like I said before, if it is your first time of stopping by or coming across my YouTube channel, you are welcome. Now that we have finished watching this video together, you saw me sitting there watching it together with you. I appreciate you. Let's go to the comment section to talk about it. If it is your first time, subscribe, put on your notification bell. That notification bell is very, very important because it will enable you to know when I upload a new video. I will meet you guys again in my next video. I appreciate your massive support. Remain blessed. Bye-bye.